I'm in this one. I'm gonna show you how I did it.
So I'm going to be making two different ones. So the first thing I do is split this down the middle. I could have done this in a more fashionable way, but this works fine. So, go for it. After they're separated, we're going to plane them flat so we have nice smooth surfaces to draw on our designs. I gotta say, planing is probably one of my favorite things to do in woodworking so far, if not the favorite thing I've done so far. It's always fun. It's so satisfying. So now what I do is I just go and find the center, and I'm gonna mark out different points that I'm gonna use to draw on the design. Sometimes I will make stencils for my designs so that I can keep them and redo them later, but a lot of the time I like to do one-off designs that I just make up as I go, and I design it for fun, and it's always interesting and a great way to express creativity. And this is how that design turned out. Honestly, not too bad. It's a little hard to see within the surface that I've drawn on, but we'll find it in there, don't worry. And this is right after I had freshly sharpened my plane blade, and it is so sharp. I've never had it this sharp before. In fact, next week's video is going to be about the jig that I made to actually help me sharpen my chisels and my plane blades until I can get better at doing it manually. And all we're doing here is I'm just rounding it out so it's a little bit easier to start carving up. And there we have it. Now on to the next step. For this next step, all we're going to be doing is mostly whittling away all the material that we don't need. First, I'm just going to redraw on the design that I had going. And now we can go ahead and remove the bulk of the material. A while back for a commission, I did a Elder Wand from Harry Potter, and it turned out great, honestly. I'll put a picture of it up here. I had so much fun making it that I just really wanted to do another one. So I figured, why don't I just do a couple of them, really? Because they're so easy to make, well, relatively speaking, and they're a lot of fun, and you get to express some creativity in the design. So I definitely have plans of making more of these in the future. Even though I don't know that much about the Harry Potter world, I know some of the lore, but not as much as other worlds. But my sister's really big on it, so I can give her all of the excess ones if I don't know what to do with them. I don't need to make a ton of wands, but they're fun, and I like to practice different shapes and stuff with them. And there's the base shape that we're going to have to bring down now, and this is when it's going to start to kind of look like the wand. After this step, we're going to put in all the angles, and that's when it really starts to look nice. What am I even laughing at? I was watching something. And now the basic shape is starting to show up. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to draw back in the little handle bumpy things, and we're going to carve that out. After that, we're going to bring down the bulk of the rest of the wand and shape up the very end of it there, at the very end of the handle. And then we're going to go through and file it, and it'll pretty much be ready to finish. To make the circles, I just make cuts in the lowest part where the circles bend down and meet each other, and that's going to just separate them. And then I round those out from where the highest part of the ball is going to be. It turns out pretty well, honestly. I like how it worked out. Even the little knot in there wasn't too much of a problem. Now we're just going to shape up the end of the wand. I keep wanting to call it a pommel, but I don't know what the technical term for it is. And then we're going to go ahead and bring down the bulk of the rest of the wand going upwards and kind of taper it down and then define those ridges. These ridges should help with giving some shape to it and give a nice sharp edge throughout the wand a little bit. Should contrast with the balls of the handle part, and then the pommel, I guess, is going to have a little bit of both elements into it with a little bit of that inner curve and the sharp ridges on it, as well as like the ball end at the top. And this is how it turned out. Not too bad. From this point, we just gotta give it a bit of a grind down with some files and it'll look really, really nice. I also kind of forgot to record like 90% of the filing. My bad. But this is how it turned out. Pretty good if you ask me. I like it. It looks very nice. And now we can get ready to go ahead and stain it up and finish it. These gloves, I love them. I used to get so much stain on my hands. I don't anymore because like I'm messy as hell, but these gloves are awesome. Now this stain color is a Colonial Maple. It wasn't my first pick, but the first pick I had was run out, so I need to get some more of it. And the other one I had didn't really fit the personality of it. So some maple stain it be, I guess. Eventually I'm going to try to collect more things on hand, so I have more variety with what I can do in my finishing process. But I got this finish pretty even, and I like how it came out. Even though it wasn't my first pick, I'm happy that I did pick it. Pretty good. And this is how I add like the core. I don't know exactly what they're supposed to be, like tails or some magical strand, but I do know that they're supposed to have something in the middle. So I think like this is like some like ivory wood or something in my mind, but I don't know what material is required for the magic core, but this is it. Just like lore speaking wise, but this could just be an out-of-world wand as well. So now we're going to do the polyurethane, and this was the least crusty brush I had because I did not clean it very well. So if anybody has any tips on how to clean your brushes, please let me know below because I need some help. It definitely affects my finishing process a little bit. I need to go get some more brushes as well, but ultimately it got the job done and it came out pretty well. And this is how it turned out. I think it turned out great, honestly. I like the core in it. It comes through on both ends, you can see. I have that underneath the polyurethane finish. I don't know, I might throw another coat on it at some point, but this is one coat and I feel like it's very, very nice, honestly. I wanted to make sure I got a color that matched the kind of personality of it out of the wood stains that I have. I think this was the closest one. Let me know what you think. Hopefully I'll see you next week. Bye.